Number 1. The 1963 Oldsmobile Super 88, priced at $7,800 and located in Phoenix, Arizona. This is a classic American sedan from the era when size, power, and comfort were all part of the package. This Super 88 is powered by the desirable and extra-cost 394 cubic inch Oldsmobile Skyrocket V8, producing 330 horsepower and a hefty 440 lb-ft of torque. Backed by an automatic transmission, this drivetrain was built for smooth, effortless cruising, and it still represents some of the best engineering Oldsmobile had to offer in the early 1960s. With 78,000 miles shown, the car presents as a nice, largely original example. According to the seller, it starts, runs, and drives, which is exactly what you want to hear when looking at a classic from this era. The car still wears its original hubcaps, a small detail that really helps preserve its authentic, period-correct look. Inside, the interior appears original, adding to the car's survivor appeal. Original interiors are getting harder to find, and even more valuable when they've been reasonably well preserved over the decades. This one gives you that unmistakable early 60s Oldsmobile feel, the kind of interior that reminds you why these cars were so highly regarded for long-distance comfort. Visually, the Super 88 delivers classic early 60s styling with its long body lines, tasteful chrome, and confident stance. These cars were designed to glide down the highway, and the torque from that 394 V8 ensures it still does exactly that today. Whether you're cruising city streets, heading to weekend shows, or just enjoying the sound and feel of real cubic inches, this Oldsmobile fits the bill. At $7,800, this Super 88 represents a very approachable entry point into full-size early 60s American luxury. It's not positioned as a high-dollar show car, but rather as a solid, drivable classic with originality, strong mechanicals, and undeniable presence. For someone looking for a comfortable cruiser with real V8 muscle and vintage style, this 1963 Oldsmobile Super 88 is a strong way to start the list. Number 2. The 1972 Mercedes-Benz 220D, offered at $9,000 and located in Granada Hills, California. For collectors and enthusiasts, the W115 series diesel sedans are legendary for their durability, simplicity, and timeless elegance. And this one checks a lot of the right boxes. This 220D is powered by Mercedes' famously reliable diesel engine, paired with an automatic transmission, and shows 143,000 miles. These cars were engineered to run for hundreds of thousands of miles with proper care, and according to the seller, both the engine and transmission run smoothly, exactly what you want to hear when considering a vintage diesel Mercedes. One big highlight here is that this is a factory air-conditioned car, a valuable option, especially for Southern California driving. The seller notes a long list of recent maintenance, including new Michelin tires, new brakes, new parking brake shoes, and fresh oil and filter changes for both the engine and the transmission. Even more impressive, the engine has been upgraded with new glow plug system sourced directly from Mercedes, including a heavy-duty relay, allowing for quicker and easier cold starts. Documentation is another strong point. This car comes with an original service book, showing recorded mileage and service history, which adds real peace of mind and collector value for a vehicle of this age. Inside, the interior is in good overall condition, showing normal wear commensurate with age. There is one small tear on the driver's seat, but otherwise the cabin presents well and maintains that classic Mercedes feel. Solid, understated, and purposeful. All lights are reported to be working, another sign of careful ownership. Externally, the paint and body are described as being in good condition, with only minor scratches here and there. Nothing extreme for a 50-plus-year-old vehicle. Importantly, the underside of the car is very solid and clean, which is critical when shopping for a vintage Mercedes. Even better, all chrome and trim pieces are said to be in very good shape. preserving the car's iconic, refined appearance. At $9,000, this 1972 Mercedes-Benz 220D represents a well-maintained, documented, and nicely preserved classic diesel sedan. It's ideal for someone looking for a reliable vintage daily driver, a unique weekend cruiser, or a long-term collectible known for outlasting just about everything else on the road. Number 3. The 1977 Chevrolet Camaro LT Coupe, offered at $9,500 and located in Sanger, California. This Camaro blends classic styling, modern reliability upgrades, and tasteful touches that make a strong contender for anyone looking to get behind the wheel of a vintage muscle car without breaking the bank. Under the hood sits a 350 cubic inch new crate motor, a major highlight of this listing. Paired with an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor, this setup provides strong, reliable performance with that unmistakable V8 sound and throttle response Camaro enthusiasts crave. The engine is matched to an automatic transmission, making this car easy and enjoyable to drive, whether you're cruising around town, hitting local car shows, or taking it out for relaxed weekend drives. The seller notes the car has only 20,000 miles showing, and while mileage on classics can be hard to verify definitively, the overall condition suggests careful ownership and light use. One modern upgrade worth pointing out is the digital gauge cluster, which give the driver more accurate readings while still fitting nicely into the car's classic interior theme. Speaking of the interior, it's described as well preserved, which is a big win for a car from the late 1970s. The Camaro LT trim originally offered more comfortable and refined interior than base models, and it's great to see this example still presenting nicely. A clean interior adds immediate value and saves the next owner time and money on restoration work. On the exterior, this Camaro really stands out. The seller states the car retains its original paint, and importantly, there are no dents. Finding a car this age with original paint in solid condition is becoming increasingly rare, and it speaks to how the vehicle has been treated over the years. Original paint also allows buyers to clearly see the car's true condition without hidden body filler or quick respray tricks. The 1977 model year marked an important era for Camaro. With its long hood, aggressive stance, and unmistakable silhouette, it remains one of the most recognizable American muscle cars ever built. While emissions regulations soften performance compared to earlier years, examples like this, fitted with a fresh crate motor, bring back the power while keeping the classic look intact. Priced at $9,500 OBO, this 1977 Chevrolet Camaro LT Coupe represents a solid value in today's classic car market. It's a turnkey driver with meaningful mechanical upgrades, a clean body, and preserved interior. Ideal for enthusiasts who want to enjoy a classic Camaro now rather than park in the garage as a long-term project. Number 4. The 1969 Buick Riviera Coupe 2D, listed for $10,000 and located in Midlothian, Virginia. Coming in, we've got a true classic luxury muscle cruiser, a 1969 Buick Riviera Coupe, currently located in Midlothian, Virginia. This Riviera is one of those cars that instantly makes a statement, long, wide, low, and undeniably bold. Buick's Riviera was never about being subtle. It was about style, power, and presence, and this one has all the right foundations to become an absolute head-turner. This particular example shows 84,000 miles and is equipped with an automatic transmission. Power comes from Buick's legendary 430 cubic inch V8, an engine known for its massive torque and smooth, effortless cruising ability. This was Buick luxury done the muscle car way. Quiet confidence with serious power under the hood. The seller describes this Riviera as a project with tons of potential, and that's exactly where its value lies. These cars are becoming harder to find at reasonable prices, especially with their original drivetrain intact. The body style alone, with its sharp lines, hidden headlights, and massive proportions, makes it one of the most distinctive American coupes of the late 1960s. Originally, this Riviera was pictured sitting on chip foose wheels, which gave it a modern custom look. However, an important update has been noted. The foose wheels are no longer included at the current price. As it stands now, the car is being offered for $6,000 plus processing fees with the factory wheels and hubcaps. If a buyer wants the foose wheels reinstalled, the price returns to $10,000 plus processing, and only at full asking price will those wheels be included. That flexibility gives buyers options depending on whether they want a factory-correct look or a more custom vibe. As with many vehicles of this era, there are a few known issues to be aware of. The car does have rust in the trunk, which is fairly common for a late 1960s Riviera. It's also currently running on a fuel cell, though the original gas tank is included and simply needs to be cleaned and reinstalled. These are manageable project items for the right buyer and are clearly disclosed, which is always a good sign. The vehicle is being sold through truck outfitters in Midlothian, making it easy to locate and inspect. This Riviera isn't pretending to be a fully restored show car. It's an honest classic that offers someone a chance to build a truly stunning cruiser exactly the way they want. Whether you're looking for a rest-a-mod platform, a classic luxury muscle project, or simply one of the most stylish American coupes ever built, this 1969 Buick Riviera coupe delivers big presence, big power, and big potential at a price point that's becoming harder and harder to find. Number 5. The 1964 Mercury Comet 404, offered for $12,500 and located in Weaverville, North Carolina. This is one of those cars that flies under the radar, but for the right buyer, it offers vintage style, simplicity, and reliability in a very approachable package. This Comet shows 18,237 miles, and while mileage claims on classic cars always deserve a closer look, what matters most here is how the car presents and performs today. Under the hood, it's powered by a straight-six engine, which was known for being dependable, easy to maintain, and perfect for relaxed cruising. It's paired with an automatic transmission, making this Comet simple and comfortable to drive. No fuss, no drama. Just turn the key and go. According to the seller, the car starts right up, brakes well, and shifts smoothly, which is exactly what you want to hear with a classic in this category. This isn't being advertised as a race car or a high-performance build. Instead, it's a solid, straightforward driver that delivers classic car enjoyment without the complexity or high running costs of a big V8 setup. The Comet 404 trim level sits at a nice balance point in the lineup, more upscale than a base model, but still clean and uncluttered in its design. The styling of the 1964 Comet reflects that once brief era when compact cars still wore chrome proudly, with clean body lines, a classic front end, and proportions that feel just right for city drives, weekend cruises, or local car shows. The seller is very clear about expectations. This is a cash-only deal, priced at $12,500 OBO, with no tire kickers and no joyrides. In other words, this is meant for a serious buyer who knows what they're looking for and is ready to make a straightforward transaction. The rule is simple: cash in pocket or no ride, which suggests confidence in the car's condition and value. For someone looking to get into the classic car hobby without jumping straight into a major restoration or a high-dollar collector piece, this 1964 Mercury Comet 404 makes a lot of sense. It offers vintage charm, an easy driving straight six, and a no-nonsense mechanical setup that can be enjoyed right away. If you're after a classic that's approachable, usable, and still gets attention for being something a little different, this Comet might be exactly that sleeper classic you've been waiting for. Number 6. The 1972 Lincoln Mark IV, priced at just $3,500 and located in Melbourne, Florida. This is one of those big, bold classics that represents an era when luxury meant size, comfort, and presence, even when the car wasn't perfect. This Mark IV shows 58,000 miles and is equipped with an automatic transmission, delivering the smooth, effortless driving experience Lincoln was known for in the early 1970s. According to the seller, the car runs and drives great, which is a big plus, especially at this price point. These cars were built to cruise, soaking up the road with long wheelbases, soft suspension, and a heavy, planted feel behind the wheel. Inside, the news gets even better. The seller states the interior is in perfect shape, which is huge on a luxury car like this. Finding a Mark IV with an intact, clean cabin is becoming more difficult every year. The plush seating, classic dash layout, and overall feel remind you exactly why these cars are considered rolling living rooms when they were new. In fact, even today, they still deliver that unmistakable Lincoln ride. However, this car is being sold with full honesty, and that's important. While it runs and drives well, the body and frame have lots of rust. There's no sugarcoating that. This makes the car best suited for someone who understands what they're buying. Either a project, a parts car, or a driver you enjoy as is, without worrying about cosmetics. The rust will limit long-term restoration potential, unless you're ready to invest time and money, but that's also reflected in the very low asking price. On the functional side, the driver window works, which may sound minor, but anyone familiar with old luxury cars knows power window issues are common, so having it operational is still worth mentioning. At $3,500, this 1972 Lincoln Mark IV sits firmly in affordable classic territory. You're not buying perfection. You're buying presence, comfort, and character. This could make a fun cruiser, a ratty butt running classic you enjoy on weekends, or a base for someone who wants to tackle a long-term restoration, knowing the interior and drivetrain are already solid. If you've always wanted a massive 70s luxury coupe, love the square lines and formal styling, and don't mind getting your hands dirty, or simply enjoying it rough around the edges, this Mark IV could be a lot of car for very little money. Number 7. The 1981 Chrysler Imperial, offered at $8,000 and located in Carson City, Nevada. If you appreciate early 1980s American luxury with history, character, and comfort, this one definitely deserves a closer look. This Imperial shows 84,790 miles and is equipped with an automatic transmission, delivering the smooth, relaxed ride Chrysler aimed for when reintroducing the Imperial nameplate in the early 80s. This generation is especially notable because it was heavily promoted by Frank Sinatra, who served as Chrysler's spokesperson during this era. In fact, Chrysler even produced a famous Frank Sinatra edition, making these cars a unique piece of automotive pop culture history. What makes this particular Imperial even more special is its background. According to the seller, it was formerly part of the LeMay Family Collection Foundation, displayed at the Marymount Event Center. That's a big deal. Vehicles from respected collections like LeMay are typically maintained to a higher standard, preserved rather than neglected, and treated as rolling historical artifacts rather than just old cars. Condition-wise, the seller describes this Imperial as being in excellent running and driving condition, with both the interior and exterior in good shape, showing only minor, age-appropriate wear. That's exactly what you want to hear on a luxury car that's now over 4 decades old. These cars were designed to be quiet, comfortable cruisers, and when properly sorted, they still deliver that calm, plush driving experience today. Mechanically, a lot of work has been done recently, which adds real value. The car has received new tires, a new radiator and coolant hoses, a fan clutch, new belts, and a full ignition refresh, including a new distributor cap and rotor, ignition wires, spark plugs, and air filter. On top of that, it has a new battery, fresh oil and filter, and transmission fluid and filter. That's the kind of maintenance list that gives confidence. You're not jumping into deferred work right away. At $8,000, this 1981 Chrysler Imperial sits in a sweet spot. It's affordable as a classic, unique compared to the usual Cadillacs and Lincolns of the era, and backed by an interesting history tied to Chrysler's revival efforts in the early 80s. It's not trying to be a muscle car or a sports coupe. It's a comfortable, stylish luxury cruiser with a story. If you're looking for a vintage car that stands out at shows, sparks conversation, and delivers relaxed weekend drives with a touch of old-school elegance. This Imperial offers a lot of charm, history, and value for price. Number 8. The 1972 Pontiac Granville convertible, offered at $12,000 and located in Sacramento, California. Big, bold, and effortlessly smooth, the Granville was Pontiac's top-of-the-line full-size model, built for comfortable highway cruising with undeniable road presence. Under the hood sits a 455 cubic inch V8, paired with an automatic transmission, a classic Pontiac powertrain combination that delivers strong, relaxed torque and that unmistakable big block feel. These cars aren't about quick launches. They're about effortless momentum, smooth acceleration, and soaking up miles like nothing else from the era. According to the listing, this Granville is a beautiful, largely original example, inside and out. The interior and exterior are described as being in excellent condition, which is no small feat for a 50-plus-year-old convertible. Even better, the seller states that everything works, a major plus when dealing with full-size convertibles packed with power features. Mechanically, it's said to run excellent, making this the kind of classic you can actually enjoy right away, not one that needs sorting before its first real drive. The seller even says you could drive it home for Christmas, which speaks volumes about its road-ready condition and reliability. At $12,000, this Granville convertible offers a lot of car for the money. Iconic early 70s Pontiac style, massive V8 power, open-top cruising, and original condition that adds real collectible appeal. Full-size convertibles from this era keep getting harder to find in solid, honest shape, especially ones that don't need immediate work. If you're looking for a comfortable, attention-grabbing classic that delivers classic Pontiac muscle-wrapped in luxury and convertible charm, this 1972 Pontiac Granville convertible is a strong contender and one that promises smiles the moment you turn the key. Number 9. The 1986 Chevrolet Monte Carlo LS, priced at $12,500 and located in Slidell, Louisiana. This is a classic example of mid-80s American performance and style, right from the heart of the G-body era that enthusiasts continue to chase today. This Monte Carlo shows just 67,000 miles, which is becoming harder and harder to find on cars of this vintage. Under the hood sits a built 350 V8, upgraded with performance cam and headers, giving this LS far more attitude and power than it had from the factory. It's paired with a TH350 automatic transmission, equipped with a 2,500 stall converter and a shift kit, which means quicker throttle response, firmer shifts, and a much more engaging driving experience. Visually, this Monte Carlo really stands out thanks to a fresh new paint job, giving a clean, crisp presence that highlights the iconic long hood, short deck G-body design. Add in the new tires, and you've got a car that not only looks the part, but is ready to be driven and enjoyed right away. The Monte Carlo LS, also known as a luxury sport, strikes a great balance between comfort and performance. It offers that classic Monte Carlo cruising feel, while the drivetrain upgrades turn it into something far more exciting than a stock cruiser. Whether you're looking for a weekend street machine, a clean car show driver, or a solid foundation for further upgrades, this one checks a lot of boxes. The listing notes a clean title, and the vehicle is being sold on behalf of the seller's brother. Overall, this looks like an honest, well-sorted car that's already had the money spent where it counts. Engine, transmission, paint, and tires. At $12,500, this 1986 Chevrolet Monte Carlo LS offers strong value in today's market, especially with tasteful performance upgrades and relatively low miles. G-bodies continue to rise in popularity, and clean, turnkey examples like this don't last long, especially when they're already built to be driven and enjoyed. Number 10. The 1980 Chevrolet Monte Carlo Turbo, listed for $14,500 and located in Indio, California. This isn't your average Monte Carlo cruiser. This is a rare, factory turbocharged example from a very short-lived production run. This Monte Carlo shows around 80,000 miles and is powered by the 3.8-liter V6 turbo, identified by the coveted Z-VIN code. Chevrolet only produced this turbocharged Monte Carlo for 2 model years, 1980 and 1981, making it one of the most obscure and interesting chapters in Monte Carlo history. In fact, it's estimated that only about 13,389 turbo Monte Carlos were built for 1980, which means surviving examples in clean condition are becoming increasingly difficult to find. Backing up the turbo V6 is a 3-speed automatic transmission, delivering smooth cruising manners with noticeably more punch than a standard naturally aspirated Monte Carlo of the era. This car was never meant to be a muscle car. It was Chevrolet experimenting with turbocharging during a time of tightening emissions and fuel economy concerns. And that's exactly what makes it special today. Visually, this Monte Carlo presents extremely well. The car wears a newer respray that shows nicely, giving it a clean, respectable appearance without pretending to be an over-restored show car. The interior is described as nice, with a clean dash, and importantly, all trim and moldings are present, which is a big deal on G-body cars where missing pieces can be hard to source. It also sits on brand new 13x7 Zenith wheels, which complement the period correct look perfectly. Best of all, the seller notes are no rust, a huge plus, especially for a California car that's clearly been well cared for over the years. This Monte Carlo is best described as a true cruiser with a twist. It offers comfortable ride quality, distinctive styling, and that unique turbocharged drivetrain that instantly sets it apart from the crowd. It's not being marketed as a show car, and that honesty works in its favor. The real appeal here is rarity and originality, combined with solid condition and documented production history. Finding another 1980 Monte Carlo turbo is already a challenge. Finding one this clean, complete, and rust-free is even harder. For collectors who appreciate unusual factory options, or enthusiasts looking for a conversation-starting G-body that stands out from the sea of small block swaps, this Monte Carlo turbo offers something genuinely different. At $14,500, this car represents a compelling opportunity to own a rare slice of Chevrolet history, an era when turbocharging hinted at the future, wrapped in one of GM's most iconic personal luxury coupes. Number 11, the 1966 Plymouth Valiant, listed for $12,000, located in Odessa. At first glance, this might look like a humble mid-60s compact, but underneath, this Valiant is far from stock. The odometer shows 99,999 miles, though as with many classics of this era, the exact mileage is unknown. What is known, however, is that this car has been transformed mechanically into a strong, performance-oriented street machine. Power comes from a 360 cubic inch LA small block, upgraded with Magnum cylinder heads and running an estimated 9.5:1 compression thanks to KB pistons. While the exact hydraulic flat tappet camshaft specs are unknown, the combination suggests a healthy street setup designed for solid torque and strong mid-range performance. Feeding the engine is an Edelbrock Performer RPM air gap intake manifold, paired with a Petronix distributor, offering improved reliability over factory ignition systems. Exhaust duties are handled by TTI ceramic-coated headers, a highly respected upgrade among Mopar enthusiasts, helping the engine breathe efficiently while also improving underhood heat control. The power is sent through a 904 automatic transmission, equipped with an approximately 2,500 revolutions per minute stall converter and shift kit, giving it a more aggressive, performance-focused feel compared to stock. Out back, things get even more impressive. The car features an 8 3/4-inch rear end with 3.23 gears, an Auburn limited slip differential, and Moser 30 spline axles, a proven heavy-duty setup capable of handling real power without worry. Stopping power has also been thoroughly upgraded with Willwood disc brakes on all 4 corners, a major improvement over the factory braking system, and a strong indicator that this car was built to be driven, not just admired. Originally, this Valiant left the factory as a slant 6 car with a 3-speed manual on the column. Interestingly, the clutch pedal is still tucked under the carpet, making this an excellent candidate for a future 4-speed manual conversion for buyers who want a more engaging driving experience. As expected with a car this age, there is some rust, so this is not a flawless show car. That said, the seller notes the car is mechanically very sound, which is often the harder and more expensive part to get right. Currently, only the odometer is functioning, while the rest of the factory gauges do not work. An extra instrument cluster of unknown condition is included, along with additional parts, reprint manuals, and factory literature, which adds nice value for the next owner. This 1966 Plymouth Valiant isn't about originality. It's about performance potential and honest mechanical upgrades. It's a classic Mopar that's already been converted into a strong street car, yet still offers room for personalization, whether that means interior work, finishing touches, or converting it to a 4-speed. At $12,000, this Valiant offers a lot of car for the money: a lightweight Mopar body, a stout 360 V8, upgraded drivetrain, serious brakes, and classic mid-60s styling. For someone looking for a driver-focused classic with room to grow, this Valiant makes a compelling case. Number 12. The 1987 Chevrolet El Camino, listed at $10,000 and located in Little Elm, Texas, representing one of the final years of this uniquely American vehicle that blends the comfort of a passenger car with the utility of a pickup truck. This example shows approximately 101,900 miles on the odometer and is described as being completely original, which is becoming increasingly rare for late-model El Caminos, as many have been modified over the years. It is equipped with an automatic transmission, making it easy and comfortable to drive, whether you plan to use it as a weekend cruiser, a light hauler, or simply a nostalgic daily driver. The timeless Jeep body styling of the late 1980s gives this El Camino a clean, well-balanced look that still turns heads, while functional rear bed adds everyday practicality that modern cars simply can't match. A clean Texas title is included, offering peace of mind when it comes to ownership and registration, and the seller has clearly stated that no trade are wanted, signaling a straightforward cash sale. As one of the last El Caminos ever produced, the 1987 model carries additional appeal for collectors and enthusiasts who appreciate originality and historical significance. Overall, this El Camino offers classic American character, versatile usability, and solid long-term appeal for anyone looking to own a genuinely distinctive vehicle that can be enjoyed now and potentially appreciated in value over time. Number 13. The 1979 Plymouth Volare Woody Station Wagon, listed at just $6,500 and located in Langley, and it stands out as a rare survivor from the late 1970s that delivers character, originality, and undeniable nostalgia in one affordable package. Showing only 65,000 miles on the odometer, this Volare is powered by the legendary Slant 6 engine paired with an automatic transmission, a combination known for simplicity, durability, and ease of maintenance. The car runs good and recently received a rebuilt carburetor, helping ensure smooth operation and reliable drivability. What truly makes this wagon special is its overall condition and story. This is described as a super clean time capsule, with an interior that is near mint, a rare find for a car of this era and mileage. The seats, panels, and overall cabin presentation reflect years of careful ownership, making it feel like a genuine step back in time. The body is in great shape overall, with the seller noted what they call movie faux patina under the doors and on the rocker panels, meaning the appearance of age was added intentionally for film use rather than being the result of real rust. In fact, the seller states they haven't noticed any serious rust issues, adding to the appeal for buyers who want a solid classic wagon without structural headaches. This Volare has spent years being used as a picture car in film productions and, as a result, has been kept in dry storage throughout its life, further preserving its condition and authenticity. Mechanically, it's described as a cool running car that you can drive home, making it suitable as a weekend cruiser, conversation piece, or even a rolling prop with real character. The tires are older and would likely need to be addressed if you plan to daily drive it, but as it sits, it remains a fully usable and enjoyable classic. Finished in unmistakable Woody wagon style, this Volare captures a unique slice of American automotive history, especially appealing to collectors, film enthusiasts, or anyone looking for something different from the usual muscle cars and trucks. Priced at $6,750, the seller is open to possible trades, but makes it clear that cash is king, making this an affordable, distinctive, and increasingly rare classic that offers personality, usability, and retro charm far beyond its price point. Number 14. The 1972 Lincoln Continental Mark III, listed for just $1,200 and currently located in Bakersfield, California, making it a very affordable entry point into classic American luxury for the right buyer who isn't afraid of a project. This Mark III represents the era when Lincoln was building bold, full-size personal luxury cars, known for their long hoods, distinctive styling, and smooth highway presence. According to the seller, this is an older car that still starts and runs, which is an important detail at this price point, especially for a vehicle of this size and age. Paired with an automatic transmission, the Mark III was designed to be a comfortable cruiser rather than a performance machine, offering effortless driving manners and that classic Lincoln ride quality. While the listing clearly states this car is a project, it's being positioned honestly as a vehicle for someone who truly enjoys these types of classic Lincolns and understands what ownership involves: time, effort, and restoration work. The seller notes it as a Corrido Viejito, meaning an old car, but emphasizes that it still fires up, giving a solid base for restoration, customization, or even a budget cruiser build. This is not a turnkey show car, but rather a starting point for someone looking to revive a classic luxury coupe or use it as a donor for parts, fabrication, or a custom build. Although the ad references Lincoln Continental 1971, it is listed as a 1972 Mark III, and buyers will want to verify details in person, as is normal with project cars at this level. The vehicle is currently located in Ridgecrest, California, despite being listed under Bakersfield. So potential buyers should factor that into planning a visit or pickup. At just $1,200, this Mark III sits firmly in project territory, appealing to hobbyists, classic car tinkerers, or Lincoln fans who want a big body classic without a big price tag. For anyone wanting to save a piece of early 1970s American luxury history, this Lincoln offers an inexpensive foundation and the chance to bring a once elegant cruiser back to life. Number 15. The 1974 Ranchero listed for $6,500 and currently located in Cabazon, California, offering a classic blend of car and truck utility that makes the Ranchero such a unique and desirable piece of American automotive history. This example is powered by the legendary 351 Cleveland V8 paired with an automatic transmission, delivering the kind of torque and character enthusiasts expect from an early 1970s Ford drivetrain. Showing just 37,251 miles on the odometer, this Ranchero still wears its original paint, which adds to its authenticity and appeal as a true survivor rather than an over-restored build. Being a California car, it benefits from a generally solid body overall, with the seller clearly noting the rust areas honestly. Some rust on the floor in the spare tire area behind the driver's seat, a couple of small pinholes in the floor, and one spot at the rear where the bed meets the cab that has already been seam sealed. Outside of those areas, the car is described as very solid, which is a big plus for a vehicle of this age. A considerable amount of recent mechanical work has already been completed to improve reliability, including a new 3-row Champion radiator, inline radiator filter, thermostat, 6-blade fan, fan clutch, master cylinder, brake calipers, cylinders, and brake hoses, meaning much of the critical cooling and braking system attention has already been taken care of for the next owner. The engine currently runs but is noted to be a little rough and seems to have a miss. However, compression is reported to be good across all cylinders, suggesting the issue may be something relatively manageable like ignition or fuel tuning rather than a major internal problem. The Ranchero comes with a clean title in the seller's name, adding peace of mind and making the transaction straightforward. At $6,500 or best offer, this 1970 Ranchero represents a solid project or driver candidate for someone who appreciates original paint, classic Ford muscle, and the practicality of a car-truck hybrid. Whether the goal is a mild restoration, a weekend cruiser, or a nostalgic utility classic with plenty of character.